While the 2022-2023 football season officially ends today on Super Bowl Sunday, for many sports betting fans, college hoops in February and March is one of the most exciting times in sports. Whether you love college hoops or just want to pad your bankroll heading into March Madness, we have the perfect special. Starting today, get the rest of February with any Wager Talk or Sports Memo handicapper for only $149 each. So to finish off February for as little as $9 per day, head over to your favorite Wager Talk and or Sports Memo handicappers page and grab this limited time offer. This offer includes not only college basketball, but also any NBA, NHL, UFC, soccer, golf, and NASCAR that your favorite Wager Talk and or Sports Memo expert handicaps. No coupon is needed. The earlier you sign up, the more days you get.
Hey guys, welcome in here to Wager Talk TV for another episode of Puck Time. I'm, of course, Andrew McGinnis. I have Carmine Bianco with me and Lawrence Presman, the Prez, with us in his usual Wednesday spot. Looking forward to today's show, guys. 4 games to break down: the Red Wings, Oilers, Avalanche, Wild, Sabres, Ducks, and the nightcap with the New York Rangers and the Vancouver Canucks. We had an unbelievable night last night as far as entertainment is concerned in the NHL. Another great game featuring the Avalanche and Lightning. Well, I guess I shouldn't really say another because the last one was a blowout. This one finishes in a shootout, but great call by Carm. He did have the Lightning. The Senators continue to play upset. They spoil the New York Islanders. They beat them in a shootout. Lots of interesting games last night, but Carm, how was your night, man?
It was Valentine's Day, man. So I put together a huge meal. And watched a little bit of hockey. Andrew, 5 games yesterday with the exact same scoreline, 3-2. We're going to see a lot of those 3-2 games, especially with teams that are looking to at least try and get a game to overtime, pick up a point, make a push for the playoffs. 5-3-2 games, because we always mention those 3-2 games. The odds are normally on a 3-2 scoreline somewhere around 10-1. On totals that are at 5.5, those 3-2 scorelines for either team are usually about plus 900, plus 950. But a bunch of them, thank God, like literally thank God, as the players say. I like to thank God when they win the Super Bowl or what have you. That New Jersey scored with like 1.4 seconds left to cash my regulation bet, because that literally would have been the only ticket I cashed last night. It was such a crazy night in the NHL, but some of my leans from the show definitely got there, but some of those made the cutting room floor. So 1-2 night overall, and we'll look to bounce back today. Prez, I know it's we're 3 days removed from you going 10-0 with your props, so we're not even going to talk about that. But you have a 5% play up in the NHL tonight.
Tell us about my brother. I do it. Hey, listen, we don't need to talk about my 10-0 Super Bowl. We could talk about my winning Monday or my winning Tuesday. We could talk about my 18-5 all sports run. We could talk about my 7-0 NHL run. Or we can talk about The Test, a show on Prime about the rebuild of the Australian cricket team that I cannot stop watching. I had the under last night in the Winnipeg-Seattle game. 2 back-to-back 4% NHL total winners. And yeah, I've got a 5% play tonight. And Carm, I freaking love my play tonight. I'm so excited. I'll be home. I'll be watching. I haven't shaved since my run begun. And as you can see, it's been a long run. I'm wearing the same track pants that I've been wearing all week. They are starting to get a little crusty, but I owe it to my clients. I will not shave and I will not change pants until this run is done. Yes, 5% play tonight in NHL. I got 2 college basketball plays. Dude, Marco and I, both the co-founders of Wager Talk, literally day one partners on this project. We are, I think, like 3 or 4 units apart for number 1 in both college basketball and NBA. And we are light years ahead of number 3. I think I'm at 99. I'm at 100 units. He's at like 94 units. And the next best guy's at like 48, 50. So it's going to be a fun run. Marco and I smack talk each other every day. You have no idea. If I'm up against you and Andrew in the NHL, win. I love you guys. Let all three of us make sure we make profit, but I don't care which one is ahead of the other. When it's Marco, I will not lose to Marco D'Angelo in hoops this year. So I'm excited. I'm glad to be here. We got a nice NHL card. I don't want to hijack the show, but that's what I do. What is going on with the Florida Panthers?
Listen, let's not worry about the
How
Florida
is
Panthers.
this team
I have
losing?
It's okay.
I don't think they're any good.
Yeah.
I don't think
they
are
good,
playoffs.
Andrew, this is actually one of those ones where you and I should make a side bet because Florida right now is on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
I say Florida makes the playoffs. You say Florida doesn't make the playoffs.
We disagree
the loser,
on this.
Loser shaves off one eyebrow. Come on, man. One eyebrow. What do you say, dude?
That's pretty intense, but maybe.
But listen, Andrew, let's get the show back on track because I have no desire to even look at Prez's or Marco's units. I want to talk about hockey, so let's get to it.
Well, we were talking about the Florida Panthers.
If I want to have even remotely to as much fun as I had last night, Carm, on Valentine's Day, I better not shave off an eyebrow. Let's just say that would not help my case at all. But I think we all had a pretty good day yesterday. Let's get into the games here, guys. We could joke around all night. Congratulations, though, Prez, on those runs. That's unbelievable. And nothing really wrong with being competitive. I'm sure the clients love it. Hey, you guys be competitive all you want. Just keep making me money. And you and Marco are killing it, man. Red Wings and Oilers, very first game we're going to jump into here, guys. Obviously, this Red Wings team, they just played the Vancouver Canucks back-to-back times and put up a good fight against them. That's for sure. Put up goals against them. But hey, seems like right now everybody is scoring against the Vancouver Canucks. Now Detroit enters this one as plus 185 underdogs. Edmonton minus 225 favorites. Total at 6.5 in this one. And realistically, guys, I mean, you look at this Oilers team coming off that East Coast road trip. Of course, that weird afternoon performance they had against the Montreal Canadiens where they lost 6-2. But I'll tell you, I watched that game. They probably did deserve better. I'll keep it short and simple, Carm. My play on this one is going to be the team total over for the Oilers. It's a little chalky, but you take a look at all the games that they win. When they win games, they score at least 4 goals. It's just how it works for this team. When they lose, they don't. I mean, they lost to the Canadiens. They only scored 2. They beat the Sens. They score 6. They lost to the Flyers. They scored 1. They beat the Red Wings last time out. They score 5. They score 7 against the Blackhawks. This team, when they win games, they cover their team total, and it's kind of my way of making a better price out of things. So despite the back at home type of situation, I feel like the whole thing about fading a team when they're back at home only really applies when it was a really, really good road trip. I don't think Edmonton's going to be happy about this road trip, Carm. So I'll take their team total over 3.5 goals. What do you have for us?
Well, I agree in one sense, but they did pick up, 5 of a possible 8 points. If anything, the only disappointment on that road trip was they were pretty much a no-show against the Montreal Canadiens, losing 6-2 in that game. But it is their first back off a road trip. Looking at Detroit, listen, they've won 3 straight. The thing is, Husso is playing extremely well for Detroit. Imagine this is a team that's on the outside looking in as far as playoffs go, and this guy has a winning record, and a very good winning record with a goals against average under 3. And you look at his last 8 starts. He's 6-2 his last 8 starts. 6 of those 8 games, he's allowed 2 or fewer goals, which makes you want to take the under in this game. But I've got another interesting stat for you, Andrew and Prez. Detroit has not trailed after the first period in their last 10 games. 7 of those are pushes. 3 of them were wins, but they have not trailed 10 straight games for a team with a losing record, and they have not trailed after 1. And this is why I'm leaning to the first period. Detroit plus 145. You get the Oilers off heading home off a 4-game East Coast trip coming home. They're playing extremely well. But at least for the first 20 minutes, we'll see where the legs are for them traveling back. Maybe Detroit gets the jump on them early and Edmonton wins the game. I think that's pretty much how it's going to go. But I'm going to take Detroit first period plus 145 because I have no faith in Detroit winning the game outright against the Oilers. Prez?
Yeah, listen, I got some thoughts on this game. I just want to respond to a couple of people in the chat room. Firstly, Jared Dulaba writes, I don't know who I'd want to have dinner with less, Prez or Biden. Oh, Jared, let me tell you, it's you for me. So I'd rather have dinner with Biden. However, dude, I'm a great dinner person. Like, I'm funny. I pay the bill. You eat for free. We do edibles. You're not right on this one, dude. I think you would enjoy having dinner with me. And for the people who ask if I dye my mustache brown, no, guys, I dye my beard gray. Come on. Anyway, I like the over in this game, guys. Look, let's start right off the bat with the fact that Edmonton's one of the biggest stone cold over teams in all of hockey. They are 32-17 to the over. Detroit, they've just put up a 6 spot against Vancouver, a 5 spot against Vancouver. They've gone over 3 of their last 4 games. Edmonton's gone over their last 2 games, 4 of their last 5. If you guys read my analysis, my free picks, my thoughts when I write them down, you know I don't overthink things. Both these teams are playing to the over right now. Edmonton is an over team to begin with. And we know, and Andrew spoke about it at the beginning, I got to believe Edmonton's going to put up 3 to 4 goals tonight, and they are not some defensive juggernaut by any stretch. They got goaltender problems, defensive problems. Detroit's going to get theirs as well. I think the play here is over the 6.5.
Let's expect goals from both teams. Prez, I just hope that my team total can hit in the process of that over going over there. And Carm, that's an unbelievable stat there with Detroit. To me, I would even possibly look towards the 1.5 over, but obviously that's probably pretty juicy with it being a 6.5 as the total. And for anybody that wants to do a split bet, you could do a half bet on the plus a half goal and half bet on the money line there. And that way you do win. Even if Detroit doesn't even score, it could end 0-0 or 1-1, and you still win your bet if you bet the plus a half goal. So good stuff, guys, for the first game here once again. Yep.
And I wanted to say, and that's the thing is, you know what I mean? Like when you look at, this is all, obviously, me wanting to take this play is all dependent on the goaltending. Detroit is 24 and 28. They're 24 and 28. And Ville Husso is 20, 12 and 5. He has 20 of their 24 wins this season, 289 goals against average and a 905 save percentage. Listen, the guy's been good even on the road. He's 7-2-3 on the road this season. In 13, it shows 13 starts. But for a team again with a losing record to have a goalie that playing that well tells you something. Is you want to bet against the Wings when their other goalie is in net. More because literally this guy has pretty much every single win for them this year with the exception of 4. So listen, I get your Islanders stuff, guys. I get the over. Andrew, you can still get there. I'm just not sure on the over here. I think we see a tighter game, and we'll see how it goes. It hasn't made my card, but the Detroit first period might make it.
Well, I had some backlash yesterday in the comments section after I made the Red Wings my sell team. So we'll find out. It's me against the viewers with this opinion, but we'll find out if the Red Wings can hang on at all and be a spoiler team, or if they kind of overachieved in the first half of the season. Prez, let's go to you here for the Colorado Avalanche and Minnesota Wild for our second game here of the show to break down. Obviously, Colorado played yesterday, a hard-fought, tough game against the Tampa Bay Lightning. It seems like it's almost a rivalry forming between those two teams, despite being in different conferences. Let's jump into it. Prez, what are your thoughts? Colorado and Minnesota.
Yeah, Andrew, so I put this up as a free pick for my clients last night. Look, I'll tell you, if I didn't have a 5% play today in NHL, this would be a bet. I just didn't want to have, I'm on a 7-0 run. I got a 5% play. I'm going to take it easy. Take it easy, Prez. Calm down, relax, mellow out. So I put it up as a free play, and I'll tell you right off the bat, I tossed and turned over releasing this play. I love the under in this game. The Avs, they're one of the biggest under teams in hockey, 19-30 to the under. Minnesota is 22-29 to the under. Minnesota has gone under 7 of their last 9 games. This Wild team has not scored more than 3 goals in 10 straight games, and they've scored only 1 goal in 3 of their last 4. Without Cale Makar, their quarterback, Colorado's also struggling to put up goals. I understand they put up a 3 spot yesterday and a 5 spot against Florida. But before that, they're not scoring 4 or 5 goals every single game, and they're really holding their opponents down. I love the under here. Like, love the under. I can't believe it's 6. I wrote in my free pick analysis, I thought this game should have been 5.5, slanted juice-wise to the under. So I think there's a ton of value on the under in this game. And moving forward, guys, there's a ton of value in the under on every Minnesota game.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Prez. I mean, 6 of their last 7 games, they seem to be struggling to score. They don't have a lot of depth right now. It's pretty much the top guys or bust with that team.
Yeah.
And Colorado looks like a different team as well lately, Carm. What do you think here? Do you agree with Prez on the under?
I do. I remember some guy on the show saying months and months ago that Minnesota is a good under team, and those bets continue to cash. I don't remember who it was. I'd have to go back and look at the video of it. But as far as this game in itself goes, I like the under, but I'm leaning to Minnesota here, and mainly because we have some injuries, obviously, on Colorado's side. They're on the second of a back-to-back. And that game against Tampa wasn't the easiest game. It is tough to have a game like that. It's a physical game, and then you've got to hit the road and play a Minnesota team that is going to be skating. This team has some speed, and they're also they need a win. I mean, Minnesota needs a win about as bad as any other team in the NHL right now. They've lost 4 of the last 5. The one game that they did win is in OT. They've picked up 3 points, I think, in their last 3 of their possible 10 points. They need some wins as well, too. And again, they catch a team without Makar. I'm not sure of the other players I mentioned on yesterday's show that were out, if they're back into the lineup here. But catching Colorado back-to-back, only 5 times Colorado's been in a back-to-back this season. They've won 3, lost a couple. So not a big database of back-to-backs for them this season. Minnesota's 140-ish here. I'm going to take it at 140.
Yeah, I just with this game, for me, I think that I wouldn't call it, my strongest play of the day by any means, but I think it's a spot for Minnesota. I just don't love that price. So if I was to choose a pick here, I would probably take Colorado at the plus 120, just because the situations that Colorado's being put in and the injuries and stuff like that lately, I just find they're getting disrespected in the marketplace. And this is the kind of the spots that I want to be betting on them here. But I think, as I looked at this more and more overnight and throughout the morning, the under became more of my favorite play on this game because I think that after what happened yesterday, the hard-fought game that Colorado went through, they're going to have to play well defensively. And it really would surprise me if we saw, just an outburst of goals tonight from the Wild. It really would, but they're getting in a good spot here, and we'll see what can happen. But like Prez said, the Wild have not looked good recently. I know you're chomping at the bit, Carm.
No. This is like
he heard me disagree with him, Prez, and he's.
I'm going to throw this right back at you because yesterday it was funny because you're like, Carm, quickly, do you think? And then I went off on like a 90-second diatribe or what have you. But I don't think the bookmakers are disrespecting Colorado at all. I think they know the talent that team has. But I think when you're missing the guys that they're missing, You know what I mean? Like you take Makar out of that, they're already missing Landeskog, so that's already baked into the number. Now, when you're also missing Makar, a great puck handler for that team, and I'll say it again after that dirty hit by Carter, it's another big component of your team, a guy who leads your power play, a guy who leads your number one line, and a puck-carrying defenseman that can go end-to-end. You take that guy out of the lineup, that has to affect the line. So I don't think it's a matter of disrespect. If Makar's in this lineup tonight, then this line is probably one of those ones where Minnesota is like minus 120-ish. They're 20 cents cheaper. It could even be minus 110 both ways. I think it's that much of a factor having a guy like Makar out of the lineup. So that's all I'm saying, Andrew. I don't think they're getting disrespected.
I respectfully disagree. If it was basketball and two players are missing, and it would be a big deal. But it's hockey. There's four lines out there. You know, the Colorado Avalanche are still talented. Minnesota has 3 wins their last 10 games. 2 of them are against Philadelphia and I think the Blackhawks. So I don't know. But let's talk about your Sabres. The Sabres are a team that some people they were like plus 300 to make the playoffs at the All-Star break, and they were in a playoff position. And that, you know what I mean? Like everybody thought they were going to fall off. Everybody thought they were overachieving. And here they are laying 200 here on the road in Anaheim. They're plus 170. When's the last time they were on the road, Carm, and you saw minus 200 next to the Sabres? That's kind of a little bit of a different price tag there. But no surprise here, though. The over 6.5 at minus 130. And I just want to say this real quick. If anybody likes overs involving any Anaheim Ducks game, you might as well just put props in on Trevor Zegras because he's pretty much the only good thing about that team. You know, it's real tough when you take an over because, you know, Carm, you take an over on a team like that, but really what you're doing is you're hoping that the Sabres do the bulk of the scoring. That's the thing. So anyway, what do you think about this game? I think it should be a good one.
Yeah, listen, prior to the Sabres going on that road, to start this road trip, I talked about the fact that the Sabres, their last 15 games on the road, I think there were something like 11-1-3 or 11-2-2. They were winning games on the road. And then they put in that performance against the LA Kings. It's back-to-back performances where they play decent first periods and then they get completely bombed in the second period. 4 goals in each of those games against Calgary, against the LA Kings. It's like they just stopped skating in the second period. It's a scary thought. You're not going to get me to lay 200 in this game. I wouldn't even lay that if I had Prez's money. I would lean to the over here. This is probably one of the ones where I expect to see a lot of goals. So you also look at the shot props. I think we're going to see a lot of shots in this game. And for both teams, we're seeing the Sabres allow a lot of shots. We already know that Anaheim is the number 1 team for shots on goal allowed at 38 plus shots on goal. So this is one of those ones where you look at, Andrew, for some of those 2.5s. Some of the players are going to be 3.5s. Unfortunately, guys like Tage Thompson are going to be 3.5s. But as long as you're not laying a lot of vig, I would be taking them. And I'll probably have some of these released as client plays later on today. But for me, it's the over in this game. Prez?
I'm with you 100%, Carm. Buffalo Sabres, 3rd highest scoring team in hockey. Anaheim Ducks, the single worst defensive team in hockey. So we're going to get our goals from Buffalo. But here's the thing. Buffalo's defense stinks too. Averaging 3.5 goals allowed a game this year. 10th worst team in the league. It's just back to don't overthink things. Don't try to get cute. We got a stone cold over team in Buffalo. A team that scores at will in Buffalo, a team that struggles to defend in Buffalo, an Anaheim team that can't defend. It's on Anaheim's ice, which means we will get a good effort from them. I'm very surprised this number isn't 7, and I think it might get there when all is said and done, as it is juiced to 6.5. But, man, this game, look, 5-2 Buffalo, 5-4. I'm not laying the 200 because I actually think it's a bad spot for Buffalo, but I don't see how this game goes under the total. Anaheim just can't stop anybody. Buffalo's going to get their goals, and Anaheim's going to need to keep pace, especially at home. Take the over.
And Andrew, before I throw it back to you, I quickly looked at some of the prices of shot props, and they're making you pay the juice accordingly. Like Alex Tuck, over 2.5 shots. It is never priced as high as it is right now. It is minus 165 on him. Jeff Skinner, over 2.5 shots on goal, minus 150. Rasmus Dahlin, minus 145 on the over 2.5 shots. Tage Thompson, as I said, would probably be 3.5. He is 3.5, and it's still minus 125 on them. They are making you, and even Olofsson, the Sabres' other defenseman, at minus 135 for over 2.5. They're making you pay juice on these shot props against the Anaheim Ducks because they are cashing with regularity. And your Trevor Zegras is minus 125, Andrew, on over 2.5. That's actually a much better price.
Well, it's kind of a good way to look at it, too. I always say, hey, look, if the price on the game is minus 200 and you can find a shot prop you like at a better price than that, then hey, why not? But guys, overall in this game, one thing I find interesting is when you look at a team that's going up against somebody like Anaheim that is pretty much racing for the number 1 overall pick, if anything, if there's one thing for that team to be excited for, here's the deal. You want the opponent to be excited and motivated, but the Buffalo Sabres are 1-4 their last 5 games. To me, as weird as it might sound, that's kind of a bet on situation for the Sabres. You know what I mean? Like, I almost don't want to bet on a team going in against Anaheim on a winning streak. You know what I'm saying, Carm? Like, you almost want a team focus, right? So it's kind of a spot here with them where they're not going to take this game lightly. And you guys both like the over, but it sounds to me that, Buffalo's probably going to do the bulk of the scoring. And that's kind of what I was saying at the start of the show, is that I feel like I've been caught lately with my totals taking the over on these games, but then it ends up being like Buffalo will win 4-1. And then we could have just taken the puck line, on the team we thought would carry the load anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and you make a great point. And this is one of the things, and getting back to the Sabres, I'd love to see them in the make a playoff run. They're not going to make a playoff run. Like I said, 4 games in 20 days is a terrible schedule to have. And then playing 15, they're going to finish it off with 15 games in 22 days. That is an absolutely brutal type of schedule. You're just not going to last, no matter how young those legs are in that team. And if they continue to lose these games, if they lose tonight, it's possibly the biggest warning sign. They've allowed 13 goals in the last couple of games, I believe. It's the biggest warning sign if you lose to Anaheim Ducks tonight as well, too. I think the teams that make the playoff push are going to be teams like Florida and teams like the Islanders, teams that can score goals but can also play defense and have a goalie who can actually stop pucks. The Sabres are using that 3-man rotation of Luukkonen, Eric Comrie, and 41-year-old Craig Anderson. So that doesn't make your heart warm at all, knowing that.
No, not at all. Not at all. But guys, with this new format, though, it's exciting to at least see some wild card stuff. And we'll talk about it more as the season progresses. We're not there yet to really jump into it, but some people are very annoyed by the format, and I get it. As someone that loves hockey and loves watching it, I think it's so ridiculous that, Toronto and Tampa know they're playing each other pretty much in the playoffs. It's just a matter of home ice already. To me, that's just ridiculous. But
dude, the worst part about it is they're playing each other next year too. And the season hasn't even started.
Yeah.
I get, and we have time, but let me throw this one out to you, because this is a scenario I thought about the other day. Not the 1 versus 8 in the conferences. I told you I like the old school 1 versus 16, but you'll never be able to do that because of travel nowadays and the TV contracts. But what about the top 2 teams in each division are seeded 1 and 2, and the next 4 teams by points, 4 wild card spots, and you seed the division winners 1 and 2, the 2 division winners, and then the next 2, 3 and 4, and then you take the next 4 wild card teams. That would ensure that we don't see the same 2 versus 3 in each division each year. Tampa versus Toronto, the Rangers versus New Jersey or Pittsburgh or Washington. That would actually work, and travel doesn't come into it. So, Batman, I know you watch this show. If you're watching it right now, I get credit for that.
Well, yeah, give Carm credit, Andrew. I didn't know we were restructuring the league's playoff format on this show. I want anything
if
with
we
relegation.
can talk about yours and Marco's units, we can talk about restructuring the NHL.
Dude, I'm not starting with you. I wanted to add my thought. All I want is relegation. I want the NFL, especially baseball. Baseball is perfect for relegation. I want relegation. So that's my thoughts. I think it's the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, I'm sure a guy who spent $1 billion on a franchise would want to see his team relegated.
Why don't you ask Manchester City? Why don't you ask Liverpool? Why don't you ask United or Chelsea or Tottenham?
When's the last time any of those were relegated?
Well, they could be. They could be. Wait till Wrexham wins it all, baby. Go Wrexham!
Are you cheering them on, Prez? Yes, go Wrexham. I like it. I'm following along with them too now. All right, Prez, going to go to you. My best bet is in this game, so I'll save it for later. New York Rangers, Vancouver Canucks. Vancouver, man, their coach pretty much said we got to start from basics with defense right now. He pretty much called out all of his players. The Rangers are looking good with Tarasenko, Prez. What do you think here in this matchup?
Andrew, look, 5 winning games in a row for the Rangers. Tarasenko on the team. This team is making a push. We expected a lot from the Rangers coming into the season. Their goaltender is lights out, but not as good as he was last year. If he starts playing like last year, watch out. This Ranger team is going to be super tough. Look at the goals they're putting up. 6 against Carolina. 6 against Seattle, 4, 5, 4, 2, 6. Oh, man, Vancouver is going to be really tough trying to stop this team. I don't know what Bruce Boudreau did, but this Vancouver team does not play defense at all. They put up a 1 spot against Detroit, a 2 spot before that against Detroit. I think we might see a few more goals from Vancouver just simply as it roller coasters. I mean, teams don't put up 1 goal a game every game. They do have their breakout games. I'm not going to bet this game. I'll tell you frankly, it's not going to happen, but I do lean on over the total of 6.5 in this game. That is all I got for you. This game it's not the right spot to bet the Rangers. You guys talk about the falling knife theory. Man, I'm not jumping in after a team has won 5 games in a row. I'm not. I'm laying off.
Well, it's literally a hot versus cold matchup here. That's for sure. It's not just a team that's hot, but it's also a team that gives up goals against everybody pretty much. Carm, how do you approach this one?
Andrew, quite simply, while I agree with Prez, I agree with Prez. This is almost like I'm an old guy, dude. I used to watch those infomercials at night. They used to have that guy, the American entrepreneur, Ron Popeil, where he stuck a chicken inside that microwave. Then he's like, twist it, set it, and forget it. Bet Vancouver overs. 14 of the last 16 games for Vancouver have gone over the total. This team is on. It's Dalia likely starting in net tonight because Demko's still injured. Even with the Rangers and Shesterkin in goal, Shesterkin started 38 games this year, 19 of them gone over. So it's not as if he's the same goalie that he was last year when he won the Vezina Trophy. He's 19-19 over/under split right now. And this Vancouver team is just allowing goals by the boatload. They'll score on occasion, which gets the total over, and they actually win games. But 16 games, their last 16 games, they've gone over the total 14. Am I going to try and reinvent the wheel here? I'm just going to take the over, set it, and forget it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hey, I mean, that leads me into my best bet. And, of course, I want to remind everybody again about that deal I have going with Jimmy Adams over at wagertalk.com. The two of us do all kinds of different sports. So Jimmy and I decided to team up together for a package. It is a 14-day package. You buy a week, It gets both of us, and you get a week for free. So you can go to either my page or Jimmy's page. I appreciate all of you guys that jumped on board yesterday and the day before. It was kind of nice teaming up with him because we do a lot of different stuff, guys, a lot of different sports. So if you buy this package, you're going to get everything from UFC to college basketball, NHL, NBA across the board between the two of us. I got some plays going up today after the show in the NHL. Check out the college board after. My best bet, though, you guys already talked about it. I'm going to go with the New York Rangers team total over 3.5 goals. Last time they played the Canucks, they put up 4 goals on February 8th. The Red Wings put up 5. They put up 6. The Islanders put up 5 against the Vancouver Canucks. The Devils put up 5. Every single person, every team is putting up goals right now against the Vancouver Canucks, and I do not expect anything to change here in this one tonight. The New York Rangers are playing very well, and minus 135 is a great price here, one that I'm willing to lay and bet on here tonight in the NHL slate. Prez, you got the 5% play going tonight. You're running hot across the board in hoops. What else do you have going? What else do you want to promote?
Yeah, so listen, guys, I've won 7 in a row in NHL. I had a 8-week period in the NHL where I struggled. And man, it's like a 8-month season, 9-month season. You're not going to have periods where you don't struggle. That's just the way it is. That's behind us now, and I'm back on a run. And I really feel like I'm seeing the NHL very well right now. So make sure to grab my 5% play. I'm also the number 1 handicapper in hoops, college basketball and NBA this season. And I do have 2 college hoops plays up for tonight. I am passing in the NBA. I have a best bet for the show, but before we get into that, I want to talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs for a sec. 3 times this year, they have lost as a plus 500 or more dog favorite. Minus 500. 3 times. They've done it twice against Arizona and once against Columbus. They also lost their last game against Columbus. This Toronto Maple Leaf team, it's like when I'm not going there. They're just bad against bad teams. Well, I had a good joke there. It just probably wasn't woke enough. Anyway, I would take the Blackhawks tonight at plus 440. The only reason I don't love it is because Toronto just came off an at-home loss against Columbus, but Toronto never seems to win these damn games. Anyway, my best bet for the night tonight, as you guys probably figured out, is the under in the Colorado-Minnesota game. Boys, what a pleasure doing this with you. We'll see you next Wednesday. Wager Talk today in 20 minutes, same channel. It's going to be an awesome show. Check it out. Thanks for having me, guys.
Good to see you, Prez, and best of luck on the 5% NHL play tonight, man. 7-0 run. I thought you were just running hot in hoops, man, but 7-0 run there in the NHL. Great stuff there. Don Buster also has a 5% play today going in the NHL. He has been crushing his 5% plays across the board, so you can get that over at sportsmemo.com and tell Buster we sent you. That's for sure. We love having him on the show. We did not have him on yesterday. I believe Carm will have him back next week. But Carm, what do you have going today for your clients?
Yeah, 3 plays up in the NHL. 3 plays up in the NHL for tonight. I'm going to add a couple player props in a couple of different games. Definitely have some from that Sabres Anaheim game. 5% play up in Champions League that goes this afternoon at 3 p.m. And then another play also in Champions League. So maybe that one day all access, pick that one up and you'll get probably about 8 plays in total for today. We'll see if we can keep that run going. And then Andrew, best bet is what it's a game that we talked about earlier. Just wanted to make sure it was up on the screen. I'm going to go with the Rangers Vancouver over 6.5. I mentioned once again, this is more of a play on the fact that every single Vancouver game has been going over the total until I see them play a little bit better defensively. I just can't stay away from their over. So over 6.5 minus 125. And I'm not worried about Shesterkin being in goal for the Rangers because he's 19-19 on his over/under record this season as well too. So this is a play on Vancouver overs more than anything else. So over 6.5 -125 is your show best bet. Thank you.
Great stuff, Carm. I love that game. And hopefully in the process, like I always say, the team total can hit as well. A quick recap here. The Prez with Colorado, Minnesota under 6 at -115. Carmine Bianco with Rangers, Canucks over 6.5 -125. And I have the Rangers team total over 3.5 goals at -135. Just like Prez said, Wager Talk today is coming up here on the same channel on Wager Talk TV. I want to thank Prez, Carm, and all of you guys for watching every single day. And other than that, guys, we'll see you tomorrow.
While the 2022-2023 football season officially ends today on Super Bowl Sunday, for many sports betting fans, college hoops in February and March is one of the most exciting times in sports. Whether you love college hoops or just want to pad your bankroll heading into March Madness, we have the perfect special. Starting today, get the rest of February with any Wager Talk or Sports Memo handicapper for only $149 each. So to finish off February for as little as $9 per day, head over to your favorite Wager Talk and or Sports Memo handicappers page and grab this limited time offer. This offer includes not only college basketball, but also any NBA, NHL, UFC, soccer, golf, and NASCAR that your favorite Wager Talk and or Sports Memo expert handicaps. No coupon is needed. The earlier you sign up, the more days you get.